then you join me at Broadford Raceway just as we start to get a sprinkle of rain on the windscreen. And that makes for a slightly sketchier lap around this track. It's only a sprinkle of rain, so I don't think the circuit grip will be too compromised just yet. But if it keeps up, we could end up with a slidey moment. So hello folks, welcome to Broadford Raceway in my Mazda MX-5. I'm here for Nugget Nationals. Well, I'm here with Nugget Nationals, who are, I guess a club who run track days in nuggety cars like the Toyota Echo ahead of me. Now, that isn't to say that they're particularly bad cars. They're not really any worse than an MX-5 in a lot of ways. Similar sort of power levels. And you'll excuse me if I'm a bit silent for a moment there. I was busy trying to overtake a car. So thanks to Nugget Nationals for putting the day on. They're kind of Toyota Echoes and Mitsubishi Mirages and that sort of thing. Grip levels are still pretty good. A little bit uneasy through there. Got to take it easy on the exit of turn 9 here. A car did roll earlier today through that corner. This car is my early, well, it's a 94 NA with NB MX-5 powertrain. It's a little bit rickety, makes a few odd noises in the back. But it's a pretty good fun car. It's kind of a relatively stock-ish car. It's got some coilovers, so it's got a bit of a nicer feel in the corners at the track. But still relatively compliant for the street. Other than that, not a whole lot else to it. It's pretty stock otherwise. Stock in such a way that it is an NA with NB bits. But it's a great fun car. You can really wring its neck, throw it around at the racetrack, and it takes it all day, you know. MX-5s are perfect for having fun at the track without too many stresses, at least in my opinion. They can handle it, they won't overheat, the brakes will hold up pretty well. You don't need to put a whole bunch of parts on them to make them trackable. Sure, they might, you can spend money to go faster, but you don't need to. And this is kind of the epitome of that, as we get a little bit sketchy on the exit of the final corner there. But to make them kind of feel a little bit better at the track and look a bit cooler, you do gotta, that's English. I do like to lower my car on some coilovers or something to make them look a bit nicer, handle a bit nicer, and put some wider tyres and wheels on. So this has got 15 by 9 inch rims and a slightly stickier road tyre. There are cars that'll hammer that little chicane. I'm a lot more aggressive than but today I'm not quite feeling brave enough. I do think I can brake deeper into that turn there, turn 10. And then all the way through this right-hander, it's full throttle. The car's, being an MX-5, it's not overly powered, so you can kind of just lean on the throttle a bit. Not always, but sometimes. Coming over the crest, the top of the final corner there, you've kind of got to be ready, but not full power until you know you're going to make that inside apex, slingshot the car down this relatively short straight, and then we brake deep into the turn one, let the car run out to sort of mid-track but not too much further, bring it back over to the right and onto the exit, hit 4th gear. Then there's this back straight that's a bit wobbly and a bit lumpy, up to 5th. We head towards turn 5, brake shortly after the 100-meter board, bring the car around, and I'm a bit conservative on the exit there because if you go too wide it can hurt. This is a fun little complex of corners here. Don't ask me how to do them correctly. And then we go down into turn 10. Downhill braking, clip the apex, run a little wide, clip the apex again, run out to the left, stay in gear, which I think was 3rd. And we want to bring the car back around to the left, right over the curb on the left hand side, and then out to the track on the right. And that's the final corner. The Echo in front of us is giving us a wave bye, thank you. I'm going to turn the wipers on just to see how much of a sprinkle. Oh yeah, we're still getting a little sprinkle, but it's not much. Not measurable to a significant degree. Now, if you're not familiar with this track, it's Broadford Raceway is sort of an hour or so's drive north of Melbourne, Australia. A fun little circuit suitable for these little sort of cars. Perfect for MX-5. A lap time is only a minute 10 or so in this car, which isn't that long, but it's an exceptional bit of fun. And it's not that big of a circuit, not that wide. Generally made for motorcycles apparently, although I'd hate to think about riding around here on a motorcycle. It sounds scary as hell. And around this track they've got a bunch of, as you can see, it is quite hilly, or at least it may not show up on camera, but I'm telling you, quite a undulating circuit. But around here they've also got some off-road type motorcycle tracks. We come around the final corner, and again we want to bring it around as we pass that little hut on the left is where we want to sort of apex. Such a fun little circuit. My fuel level's on empty, so we're at like peak performance right now. Oh, deep. Brakes are probably starting to suffer. As I've gone on through the day, they've handled well. Stock NB brakes with Hawk Blue pads and I don't know what fluid, and I think it might be the fluid that's sort of starting to let me down. After this event, I think I'll get the car up in the air and give it a once over. Check the fluids, check the brakes, maybe change the fluids for the brake, and hopefully we've still got enough pads that we can keep those on the car. I don't think they're wearing down too fast. That's the wonder with these MX-5s, which is why I kind of rave about them when people ask, is that they're just so light on consumables. Tires, brake pads, fuel, tires, I said tires already. But all that stuff is cheap to buy and it lasts a long time. You know, you buy a Mustang or some sort of German car, or even some of the turbocharged Jap stuff like say a WRX, you'll be using more fuel, you'll be paying more for brakes, you'll be burning through those things faster. With this car you don't burn through those things as fast, they're smaller, the car is lighter, and it's just all about having a cheaper amount of fun. your dollar to fun ratio is exceptional in an MX-5. I say that having owned them for, I don't know, 15, nearly 20 years, and I shouldn't say it because I'm telling, it's like revealing all of your secrets. People will start to buy them potentially, put the price up. But that's okay, I've got my 2, which is more than enough. This car doesn't feel perfect. It's sort of a little light sometimes, but I tell you, it's quite well balanced. I really can't get it unstable. It hasn't got too much power where you're just kicking the arse out everywhere through corners. Often I can just sort of, not necessarily four-wheel drift, but steer with the throttle a little bit, but you can be pretty gingerly on the throttle. You can really ram on the throttle and the car's not going to skid out on you. They're very easy to drive. So as an amateur person, they can make a subpar driver look pretty good because you just don't get in trouble. I can pretty safely just go full throttle as soon as I hit an apex of a corner. Full throttle now, a little bit of oversteer, but the car hasn't got so much power that it just sends you off into the wall or something. Do another wiper. I have the luxury of having the NB ABS in this car, which is great if you have these sorts of conditions where it starts to get a little bit wet. It can save you from locking up a wheel and running out of talent. As we come across the checkered flag for our final lap. Well, thankfully, despite the sprinkle, that was an exceptionally fun bit of time on track. The car handled it well. Really, the light rain hasn't compromised my fun at all. It's only just a spattering, not enough to affect grip levels too much. I guess with the tires being warm, cars running over the surface, it's keeping things drier than they might be if you didn't have cars running around. And so the car feels pretty grippy still, doesn't feel too much worse or too different to a dry session. But what an amount of fun, what great value. If you're thinking about a track toy for a weekend, an MX-5, it isn't as cheap as they once were, but they are great value. They're a really nice car, easy to work on, exceptionally balanced. You don't have to do much to take them to the track. And if you want to really get the fun out of them, just some maintenance, look after the car, maybe a set of coilovers, and they're great fun. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.